What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Miata Monday. So it's been a while since we actually did any work on the NA or MB Miata on the channel, since we've been so busy building all the quads and mini bikes. I've been doing the last couple months, but it's finally getting nicer here in Florida to actually start driving the cars, especially with no AC in the NA Miata. So I'm finally want to get the toys out, finally start enjoying them a little bit, since this is our kind of season to kind of drive them out and kind of enjoy the nicer weather while we can. But today we're going to be addressing the two major issues I got going on with my NA Turbo Miata here. So if you guys are kind of new to the channel, don't have any idea on this car, this is kind of been my baby for the last 5 years. So it's got a 1.6 built turbo milder in it, basically stock with a built bottom end. Got a cast manifold, little T3 4850 turbo on it. Nothing too crazy, pretty simple setup for the most part, but we really need to get some work done on it so we can actually take this thing out. And last time we actually did some work on this thing on the channel, I think was me blowing up the diff in this thing from me just kind of driving it and actually not noticing that one of the diff seals was bad on it. So it started draining some of the fluid out, and I did a pull in second gear off camera, taking it to the gas station, and ended up just kind of grenading the diff. Luckily didn't lock up, so we were able to kind of drive it home. Got a new one slapped up in there, and after realizing how much those things cost, I want to try to baby that thing if I can. I did pick up a spare just in case, just because you never know what can happen, but my dumbass ended up installing that same bad seal into this diff as well. So this diff is leaking. So I've been looking up seals for it. It's kind of pain to actually find some OEM ones, and the off-brand ones I've been finding are like 40 or 50 bucks. So I've been trying to look around, trying to find some OEM ones. Still haven't been able to find some. So in the meantime, I just need to really just keep an eye on it, top it up in today's video, just so we can actually take it out and enjoy it a little bit. And then another major issue we got going on, since actually the last time I drove this thing, I noticed this thing has a fuel leak somewhere at the fuel filter under here. And last thing I need is this thing to burn down to the ground over a simple little fuel leak at the fuel filter. And I've owned this thing for 5 years and never done a fuel filter on it or even touched any of the lines back there. So I'm a little curious on how this is gonna go, but picked up a little fuel filter so we can get that swapped out real quick. They're pretty cheap. And I do have some hoses in the box over there if we need to replace any. I got some new clamps as well. So finally just fix up those two little issues on this thing, and we can actually get it down on the ground and take it out. If you guys are curious why I have it up on some wheels and tires already, kind of just prep for Hurricane Milton coming through here, and you never know with the floods, so I kind of try to save it if I can. But no time, just keep talking. Let's get to work on this. I think I'm going to start topping up the diff first, so I can kind of just get that up out of the way before I start spilling fuel all over the ground. Luckily, I haven't drove this thing in like a month or two, so luckily most of the lines should be pretty dry, but we'll see. So let's get to work. Probably set you guys up on a time lapse, and let's get this thing all knocked out. So you guys just saw we got the old fuel filter pulled out and got the new one installed inside the car, and I can definitely tell that it's been replaced at one point, at least before my ownership, because all those lines seem pretty new, and then this fuel filter seems a little bit newer. It doesn't seem OEM at all, so it's kind of nice. Probably the reason why I didn't have any issues with this thing at all. So it's finally time to test this thing and actually see if we have any more leaks. So I'm gonna prime the system. I'm really crossing my fingers it doesn't have any leaks, but the pump. Let's cycle this thing a few times. Let me just check. Quick leak, peek. Alright, we don't see any leaks. Everything's looking dry. Hell yeah, I'm stoked on that. So I have a bunch of fuel over the floor, so I think it's finally time to get this thing off the wheels and tires and take this thing out and see how she rips. So I was just sitting here thinking, and before I pull this thing off all the wheels and tires and I should put it back on the ground, I'm gonna start it up and actually double check it's not leaking, because last thing I want to do is drop this thing on the ground and have to jack it back up. So let's see if this thing will even start. It hasn't been started in like almost 2 months, so I'm curious if the battery even has enough life. I guess moment of truth. Okay. I think we have nothing, so I'm gonna have to put the jump pack on it real quick and I'll get right back with you guys. We got the jump pack hooked up, so let's finally see if this thing will actually run. There we go. We actually got a lot more power now, it seems like. Jesus Christ, that battery is shot. Hell yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. Alright, let's double check this bitch ain't leaking real quick. Got the jump pack there. Oh, of course it's still leaking. Why wouldn't it? Alright, I guess I gotta figure out where she's leaking from now. Oh, I'm so pissed. I thought I'd crawl under here. Gotta show you guys what we got going on. So, kind of dried up by now, but it seems like this clamp way up here was a little bit loose and just dripping down these lines and going all around. So that's why I thought it was the fuel filter, but it was just that one clamp up there. So I just went under there with a flat tip and spun it like a whole nother 2.5 turns all the way around. So I think maybe just tightening it up, it should be good. So moment of truth again, I'm gonna start this thing up. I got the jump pack hooked up, so we're good to go there. And let's see if we're finally leak free of fuel, please. I really don't want to pull that line off now that it's full of fuel. What the hell is going on? Jump pack's freaking out back here. Okay, weird. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to figure this out and I'll just get back with you guys here in a couple minutes. So as you guys can hear, she is now running. I had to figure out what my jump pack was doing. It was like tweaking a little bit, but we are officially leak free under here. So I am stoked on that. So now I can finally get it off these wheels and tires and get it back on the road, because I am so ready to take this thing for some rips and feel her out. And I also want to hit the gas station because I need some caffeine right now. Driveway for the last 5-10 minutes, just letting it idle, make sure everything's all good. Everything's looking good, so finally time to take it out, rip it around a little bit. It did just kind of rain, so you guys saw that in the time lapse of me closing the garage, but kind of rained out, so roads are wet, so I'm gonna be a little easy on it because this thing will just light up the rear wheels with any sort of wet roads. So I'm gonna be a little easy on it for right now. I think I'm just gonna run up to the gas station, give me some caffeine because I'm beat after doing this, because that fuel filter was a fight. And then just doing a bunch of other stuff on the side. But other than that, let's go have some fun, rip this bitch around, and enjoy it finally. The battery is still dead, so I got my jump pack, so hopefully we don't get stranded anywhere over a dead battery, which would be retarded, but you never know. So I'm probably just gonna rip it up and then catch up with you guys here in a little bit. Caffeine, gas this thing up with some fresh 93, so she got a fresh tank because I have no idea the last time I put gas in it. So let's just rip it around, let's have a little bit of fun. I'm just gonna be cruising and maybe a couple pulls here and there, but nothing too much. I don't need to terrorize my neighborhood. can't wait till it gets a little bit cooler out, because this thing is gonna be hitting. Oh, fuck. As it even went over 150 in 10. That is crazy. God, the cooling system on this thing is dialed. In the neighborhood for right now. I'm probably just gonna cruise on back, so I'll catch you guys back at the crib, because this clip's almost 5 minutes long already. All right, we're back in the garage. We got the NA Miata pulled back in here and looking pretty. Luckily, everything that we worked on today wasn't really too bad. The rear diff wasn't really actually leaking or having any issues. I think I just overfilled it and it's just kind of seeping out of the axle seals with just having too much fluid inside of there and kind of shaking all around. So I'm just gonna keep my eye on it for the meantime and see what happens, but I think she's good to go. And then the fuel filter wasn't too bad at all either. It was definitely a fight getting those hoses off, because who knows when's the last time that thing was changed, but it came off, we got it all knocked out. And the funny thing is, it wasn't even the fuel filter leaking, it was the clamp right above the fuel filter. So could have just tightened that up and been good to go, but at least knock out one more maintenance item on this thing. But other than that, this thing is a ripper, and she is officially back on the streets. To hurt some feelings this winter, especially once it starts cooling down a little bit more. The boost should come up a little bit more and at least give better intake temps for this thing. But not really much more to expect with this thing, since I basically finished it all up. I would like to reshell this car in the future, but that's a big job and that's something way down the road. But the only things I really need to knock out on this thing is just getting some basic maintenance done. I need to do an oil change to some spark plugs. And then I also would like to maybe finish up the exhaust, because it kind of just dumped right at the axle right there with a flange. So either build up a turn down to send it down at the ground, or something to kind of shoot it out the bumper and kind of just finish it up from there so it's not as loud inside the car. But other than that, this thing is all good to go and she is ready to rip. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hope you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and peace out.